What's up, rock stars? Hey, Matt Vanderbo here, and today we are going to talk about edit points. By the time this video is done, you will know three things. First, what edit points are. Second, why edit points are so important in your music composition. And thirdly, how easy they are to compose into your music. So let's get right in. First question, and obvious starting point. What the is an edit point? Okay, my definition. An edit point is a natural break in a music composition where the music tapers away to nothing or nearly nothing before starting up again. Okay, if that's confusing, let me put it to you this way. Every piece of music is composed of bars and sections and phrases, okay? So when you're composing, you want to hit the end of a phrase and let your notes ring out, let them taper away to next to nothing before you bring the composition back in. If that is still confusing, let me just play you an example. Here's a piece I made that's full of edit points. So let's just listen for them. We're listening for natural breaks in the music. Okay, now the song is going. It's cooking a little bit. Okay, here comes the end of a phrase. Let's see if I taper away to nothing. That's an edit point right there. Let's see if I do it again. Let me put my money where my mouth is. Here we go. Edit point. Okay, so you should be able to visually see edit points when you open your waveform. They just have a screaming light attached to them because you'll see saturated waveform and then a break and then space. I mean, that's it. That's your edit point. The reason these are important is because when an editor is pulling your piece of music into a production to see if it works with the video, they are probably going to chop out little sections. And they need to be able to see where those choppable parts are. Think about any type of plastic or paper that you tear that's perforated, okay? It's got those little incisions along so it makes it easy to tear. That's what an edit point is musically. It's perforations. So when someone's opening that envelope or that piece of paper or whatever, they're going to know, okay, right here is where I tear. And if I pull right there on those choppy lines, then this piece of paper is going to tear very cleanly and it won't be a mess and it won't be hard. And that's what our musical edit points are. So when you see your waveform taper away from saturated to space, that's an easy snipping point. It's a visual cue for an editor to say, okay, right there is an edit point. Now, what does that really mean in usage? Well, think of your music like these oversized Legos of my daughter's when she was a baby. Okay, so pretend that this is your music, okay? It's composed of 3 sections. All right, there could be more sections, but let's just go with 3. If you don't have edit points and your entire composition just goes from beat 1 until the very end of the piece without ever taking a break to breathe and supply those perforations, then there is no way to tear these Legos apart. And so if an editor just wants to use this middle piece of your composition, they're screwed if they don't have a way to cleanly snip it out of your piece. And the way you screw yourself is not in a fun way, people. It's by just composing without breaks. So stuff hangs over into the next phrase. You get to the end of the phrase and you just keep the drums rolling or whatever, and you have a thing that hangs over into the next phrase. So if an editor were to try to chop at the beginning of any phrase, there would be oddly hanging notes from the previous section, okay, that just, it doesn't make any sense. You start and they're just magically there and they hang away. It's a mess. People do not want to chop up songs that have no ability to be chopped up. And if you ever want to prove this to yourself, why don't you just open up any piece of music that you've ever created that does not have edit points and try to isolate a little 8-bar section somewhere and see how easy it is for you to start that and end that section cleanly. And if you can't do it, then that means that your music is going to be very hard pressed to be useful to an editor who is pressed for time, okay? So back to the blocks. If you have composed edit points, easily snippable sections, then it will be easier for the editor to say, I'll just want that red section. And they cut out all the stuff around it. Everything's clean. And now this is a standalone section that does not need any of these things going to the trash. And they just put this piece in their video production. Okay, so that is what an edit point is. That is why it is important. And here's how you compose them in your music. Okay, all you have to do is just get to the end of a section, any section, and instead of going right into the next one, hit like beat 1 of the last bar, hit beat 1 and let it go, okay? Let it hang. It's got 3 beats now to kind of taper away before you start in on beat 1 of the next section. That's it. So you take out beats 2, 3, and 4. Just anything you were playing there, get rid of it. Okay, just gone. Excise the demons, people. Get it out. Junk that crap. Nobody needs it anyways. Okay, so you hit on beat 1, let it taper, start up on beat 1 of the next phrase. Now, another one of my little favorite tricks, I'm going to give you a good one here, is when you do that, if 3 beats, so beats 2, 3, and 4, if that is not enough time to have the music drift away into near nothingness, then either add a completely new measure of silence or decay time, or my favorite, add 2 beats. So that last hit, beat 1 of the final phrase of your passage now becomes a bar of 6/4. So now you have 5 beats of music for that to taper away before you start back in at 4/4 or 3/4 or whatever. Okay, so you're just adding in some more time to allow the music to decay, to put those perforations in your music so it's easily snippable and easily used. All right, speaking of easily used, I hope you found some use in this, and I'll see you next time. Rock star! Bye!